Okay. "'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, except for the mouse. My name is Lucy, and I could not sleep. I even tried counting my blessings and sheep. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You're used to the story about a big elf. St. Nicholas he's called, Santa to some. He brings kids presents like dollies and drums. Oh, it happens all right, just like it said, except for the part where the mouse is in bed. It's not well known, no. Oh, how could you guess that the mouse in the story saved Christmas? Oh, yes. On the first Christmas Eve, as the story is told, it is true that the house was a sight to behold. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. You know, the children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. The parents were sleeping in kerchief and cap, and had just settled down for a long winter's nap. I was headed for bed at the usual time. In this case, I think it was right around 9. I walked past the chimney, and what did I see? An empty plate where the cookies should be. Who stole Santa's cookies? I let out a scream, forgetting I might disturb visions and dreams. I clapped my paw over my mouth, and I listened. Nothing made noise but the snow as it glistened. Don't panic, I thought, but my mind was aghast. Without snacks to replenish, how would Santa last? I scurried about, searching cupboards and shelves. I have to admit that I woke a few elves. I asked if they knew where more cookies might be, but the elves were so tired they fell back asleep. I looked high and low, but no cookies were there. I found raisins and oatmeal in tins on a chair, flour and sugar and butter and salt. The icebox was frozen as tight as a vault. Oh dear, I sighed wearily, checking to see how much time before Santa's arrival might be. Just an hour, no time to go out to the deli. They'd be closed, and by this time only have jelly. I climbed up onto a big jar of curry. Sometimes I go there to work out my worries, when what to my wondering eyes should I see but a miniature box with a lock and a key? The sign on the front was all crumpled and smeared. I squinted and spelled out the word that appeared. R as in reindeer, E as in elf, C as in Christmas gifts stored on a shelf, I as in icicle, P as in present. The rest was not readable, but smelled quite pleasant, like cinnamon and nutmeg. I sniffed to be sure, and that's when it hit me. The rest is a blur, as dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the counter like Rudolph I flew, with arms full of spices, the recipe too, more rapid than mice being chased by a cat. I measured and mixed all in 2 minutes flat. From the bowl to the baking sheet, into the oven. 12 minutes at 350. Treats by the dozen. I frosted and sprinkled each gingerbread man with raisins for eyes and gumdrops for hands. When the last ginger cookie had cooled on the plate, I glanced at the clock. Good, I wasn't too late! Then in a twinkling, I heard on the crest, on the roof there was prancing. Well, you know the rest. He came down the chimney with oodles of toys. dollies and drums for the girls and the boys. His cheeks and his dimples and eyes were so merry. From the cold winter air, his nose looked like a cherry. He chuckled and grinned as he went to his work. When he filled all the stockings, he turned with a jerk.
I'm so hungry,
said Santa, and looked all around. No plate full of cookies or treats could be found.
What will we do, the reindeer and I? We must have cookies, or we cannot fly.
He gave a great sigh, and I thought he might scowl. But just then his tummy gave a great growl. Santa! I squeaked and almost dropped the plate.
Cookies!
He shouted, and he ate, and he ate. When he opened his mouth to say thank you and shout, Merry Christmas, that's not what exactly came out.
Sorry,
he said, looking worried and pale. It happens. I lowered my whiskers and tail.
Well, I'd better get going. There's work to be done. If I'm going to make it, I'd better run.
And laying a finger aside of his nose, he gave me a nod. Up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as they drove out of sight,
Thanks for the cookies. Lucy, you saved Christmas night!